Ladies and gentlemen, we would now like to present to you and formally introduce Bob, Cass, and Arthur, the Play No Games podcast.
It's your favorite podcast where we talk about real life and exchange a few laughs. We sticking to our path. When you find understanding, just know that will never last. We ain't here to play no
What's
games.
poppin', you guys? It's
The world is
Cartier
getting crazy,
Bob
and now we know
and
we
Cass.
gotta be.
He's back.
changed.
and we have the latest Play No Games installment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Kicking it old school. Just you and me and the camera.
It was all a dream. I don't know what possessed me. Low-key, I think it was God. I was like, why should I talk to this kid? He's just in the back of the classroom, minding his business.
Doing a class I had to take.
I know.
I just-
Everyone hated that class.
The freaking sophomore inquiry, which is a bullshit Portland State University class.
I tried my best to make it as fun as possible. And like the homework assignments I gave were so easy. I was like, if y'all don't just do this bullshit.
Well, the funny thing is in my freshman inquiry the year before, I had a crush on my student advisor. And then I had you sophomore year. So I was like, what can I make out of this? Fair to say I had more luck with you than with her. I don't think I've ever told you that, yeah.
Whoa. I just never told you before.
Yeah.
Now I'm,
Shout out to Alyssa. Yeah.
now I'm afraid to be alone with you.
Hope she's doing okay.
Anywho, if you like what we're doing, like, comment, subscribe. It's right here. $ Hero Rob. Help support the show, help us grow. That's what we're trying to do. We have a lot of special things. Hopefully you listen to our last episodes with the Backseat Critics, because I dropped some things and some guests that are going to be on here. Now, since we don't have Tay, we're not going to do our...
Or Arthur.
We're not going to do our... you donate $100.
Yeah, that promotion is on pause right now.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
Because I almost forgot. Yeah, never mind. If you donate $150,
No, he's signaling too for $200.
$200.
Okay, $200.
You could take our handsome videographer, in fact, pungent.
Poignant.
I was trying to say pungent.
Gorgeous.
Yes, you have all the facts. No. Yes, you smell the facts.
Poignant.
I thought it was like a pugnant, right? That's
A pugnant. A pug.
yeah. That's what you call the people.
No, poignant.
Poignant. Poignant. All right.
That's the right word. No, pungent is like in
Peasant.
odor.
Oh,
Peasant.
if you donate $200, you will be taken out on a date. And he doesn't smell.
No, he smells good. Has a nice beard. Some might call him a redhead. I do.
I call him Andrew Garfield.
He is at the yes.
He'll steal your heart. And one,
Almost died.
he's like that one Spider-Man in that one universe. You love him, but
Loves his flannels too.
exactly, flannel crazy.
What do you call that then? A blanket shirt? I've never heard that. What button ups? If you want to call it a button up, he loves his button ups. Casual button ups.
Mm-hmm.
Button downs. Casual button downs.
So let's get into it. What do you call it? I'm not gonna lie. Today was a whatever day. Play no games. I'm sorry, you're a first time listener. So our very first segment, play no games. It's how we get into the groove of things. It can be positive, it can be negative. We just want to know what you're playing no games about. Cass, what do you play no games about?
Oh my god, I'm having a brain fart. Literally, we just had to take a cut there, and I was like,
Fuck off.
"No, I'm not." I literally had it, and then now I'm like pulling the fart has left my brain. Hold on. No, ew.
I want to play no games about. I want to play no games about is I recently was watching. I think his name is Jay Shetty,
Shitty.
and he had Michael B. Jordan on. And I really like that podcast. It was on my to-do list of podcasts to watch. And Michael B. Jordan was talking about a championship mindset, but also one of the things you talked about, like running a business, is something that I want to be better at, is finding the love language of people you're in business with. And I was like, yes, that's like super important. So I think one of the things I've been really thinking about is how I want to talk to people I do business with and meeting them at their level of a love language.
So you're talking about love language, but in terms of business
Yeah.
relationships?
Yeah. Because you can't, like, obviously you have to be aggressive in certain areas, but one of the things that Shetty and Michael B. Jordan was talking about, where you got to be able to, at least when you have people on your team, that you can hang out with them outside of like doing work. And if you don't feel like you can kind of do that, then it'll eventually crumble. Where some of your best creativity, in my opinion, from how they're trying to run a business and what I'm thinking, that's why at least for me it like resonated. Where he was saying sometimes your best creativities come out from when you're just hanging out with the people you do work with, because you're building that teamwork, and then you're learning to, how do I talk to you? How do I talk to you? How do I talk to you? But it's not always going to be the same way. So I thought that was pretty good. And I'm just in this whole championship mindset. So if y'all see me post that, I'm like in the end game. I feel it. I feel inspired.
Amazing.
Costs.
Yeah, what am I playing games
What
about?
are you playing games about?
Well, I'm going to be honest, Robert. I don't remember what my original one was because we had to stop. I'm going to be honest. So I have a different one.
Okay.
Not as good, I'll tell you that. Because the first one was actually kind of good. Negative. It's a negative one for today.
Damn, negative Nancy.
I'm pissed at U.S. Bank. I have the Altitude Go card to U.S. Bank, which is a card that offers benefits, rewards for using. Anyone listening that has a reward credit card understands. You get your points, you get your miles. This one is points based, so I should be able to use the points in a multitude of ways. So, I wanted to use them for the flight because I mentioned to you before this, I'm going away next month for a trip. Well, they're upcharging me on the flight. The flight should have been like $300 per person, but on their app, they're saying it's like $450 per person. So they're trying to jit me out of my points. That pissed me off. Then I was like, all right, fuck that. Then I look at hotels. They're more... It's more expensive if I use my points than if I don't. So their rates aren't like accurate to Google or whatever like the market rate is. After that, I'm like, all right, I'll just do the cash back. I'll just take my points as like money back in my bank account. These motherfuckers give you a $25 limit on how much you can take out at a time. So I can only pull out $25 at a time as cash back. That is some hoe shit. That is some greaseball, slime ball. Really, really not cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I am aggravated with US Bank right now. I want to cut this credit card in half. I feel cheated. I feel lied to.
Well, welcome to hey, I have a card. It's called not Capital One. Chase.
Chase Sapphire.
I am. And if you use my preferred card, you help me and I help you.
I had another buddy who has Chase Sapphire try to get me to sign up for one.
And you sign up for mine. And I'll just say, I think
I'm going Amex.
You really want to spend $500 for that?
Not the big boy one. I'll get the mid tier one.
That's about $500.
No, it's like $100 a year.
I was going to Amex. They changed that, my guy.
The travel one, no. The travel Delta one is like $100 a year.
You might be right.
At least I want to get miles, which I only care about miles. That's what I want to.
Yeah.
For anyone listening that want to know about credit cards, here you go.
So I have a financial advisor friend, and she was telling me like a little cheat code, and she was telling me all the credit cards a single person should have versus like a married couple, and it came down to the Sapphire. And then I was originally gonna do the Amex, like gold, but I think they changed up a lot of the benefits and the prices and made like 500 for like their like standard one. That's why I was like, so I think you could be right if you're going with an airline, but if you're looking for a great all around card and you're single, Sapphire Chase Preferred will have all the benefits. I did have Capital One. I didn't like how Capital One was accruing with the flight miles. It was like very sluggish. So I'll say Sapphire Preferred Rewards.
Because that was the venture card, right?
Yep. I'm actually going to be terminating that one pretty soon.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah, I think that's the next step.
I can help you out.
What I can do, luckily, is I can also use those points for attractions. So I think a lot of what I'm doing on my trip is just going to be free through my rewards. So like a little river cruise I want to do can just be paid through points.
You're going to be waterborne.
Yeah. I can't give out my location.
Really?
I can't have people on my back.
Oh, you got ops?
More like fans, you know. I'm trying to get away.
Oh, you got
Try not to get flooded with photos and selfies and all that.
Man, you did a pretty big reveal last week.
You know. If you follow, you follow.
Dang.
What do you want?
I'm so proud of you, Tay.
Why me and oh god. It said me and Tay. That's fine. I thought you meant separately, but I
No. He's been a backseat critic for real. He's been having the little sly ass jokes.
That's funny. All right.
But who hasn't been sly?
Who hasn't been sly, Robert?
Rob.
Who hasn't been sly, Rob?
Thank you. Target.
Oh, okay.
We have covered so many things at Target.
Yep.
We told y'all that they were going to be locking everything up, but now Target and McDonald's are going to be slashing their prices.
Yep.
5,000 products, more so at Target, McDonald's. I
didn't hear about the McDonald's thing.
McDonald's. It said that McDonald's. They are understanding that not a lot of people are going to Target anymore. And I'm just curious, on the initial, just knowing that they're going to be doing that pretty soon, rolling back some prices, how does that make you feel?
Good. I think America needs it. I think our economy needs something like this. Something else is Nissan is actually promoting their dealerships sell vehicles under invoice price.
Damn.
Which essentially they haven't been able to do that until pre-COVID. So invoice price is what the dealership pays for the vehicle, for anyone listening. And now Nissan is promoting their dealerships to essentially sell cars for under what the dealership pays for them. Again, like I mentioned, they haven't really done that since COVID. I think Target is following suit. McDonald's, people are realizing like this inflation we hit ourselves with by increasing prices on everything because of COVID, because of circumstances, has now led to no one wanting to buy because the American population cannot sustain the prices that we're charging for a lot of things. I watch a travel vlogger who went on this podcast that I listened to, and they're like, "What's the most expensive country you've been to?" He's like, "Well, I want to say Middle East, but honestly, I just went to America." He's from the UK. He's like, "Honestly, I went to America," and I was like, "It's extremely expensive in America." Like, he's like, "It's like 50 quid for a dinner and all this stuff." Like, it's So the fact that like now
Say that
outside
again?
50 quid.
No.
What?
Say it like you mean it.
Bloody 50 quid for
There we
for
go.
a supper.
Please, sir, may I have
But-
some more?
Now that like outsiders, people coming here to travel are noticing it, then it's like, man. And for what, man? Why is Portland expensive? So I can get more potholes that I can hit on my drive.
What do you call it? One of my big issues is they have the power to do this much sooner, and it's funny now that they're seeing, because the Target's had record, if I'm being honest, Fact Dragon, I'm right about this. They have record-breaking profit margins, right?
For what? For the quarter? For the year?
Or
Yes, they have. But Walmart actually beat them by quite a bit the last couple quarters by an influx of customers searching for just basic household goods.
because it's cheaper.
looking for cheaper stuff,
Yeah.
which is what Target is responding to. Also worth, just a side note, happy to see that they're cutting costs on like diapers, milk, like actual meaningful things rather than,
Give me cheaper Red Bull.
all right, meet me.
This is what we need. We live in a capitalist society. We need price wars to take place. If you're going to offer me a better price, I'm going to go there. I need these companies to start fighting each other to race to the bottom, to the lowest price.
But this goes back to they could have already been doing this, and that's the part where I'm just a little funky, or I just feel just disgruntled about it, where it took Walmart being like, for you to want to add relief. And it's just disgusting where capitalism in America's at, because I agree, because, you know, I would say next year I'm gonna be taking a trip to Japan, and I know the US dollar is stronger there.
Right now it is.
I hope it continues till next
Probably.
year.
Japan's in the shitter right now.
All I'm saying is it's just very actually depressing hearing that someone come from out of
And
the
he
States.
travels across the world. He goes to he's been to almost every country, and he said America's overpriced.
And the last thing I want to say about this is, if we're dropping the fucking price, oh my gosh, if you take the damn body wash out of the fucking lockbox. If I have to call one person,
Well, okay, I'm gonna.
no.
I think that's a Northeast.
No.
thing, I'm gonna be honest.
No.
I
I've
think
been.
that's a Northeast thing.
I literally have to call somebody, and I was on the phone. I was like this. I was like,
Southeast is the same.
Okay, well, Southeast is worse.
hold on a second. The critic's about to say something. What you got, RJ?
Clackamas is the same.
Okay.
That is Southeast. Beaver. If you go
Clackamas.
to Beaverton, it's not locked up. I'll tell you that.
I want to say,
Or Hillsboro, or
I want to say something, but
Tualatin, or
I'm not gonna
say it.
Nah.
Come on, say
Nah.
it. Say it. Tay's not here. Say it.
Wipe out.
There you go.
Wipe
What the-
out.
Oh, I want to say something.
No, don't say it.
It's,
Don't say
no,
it.
because it's gonna be taken out of context.
Yeah,
and
don't say it.
There's a guy on Instagram that says something. If you know him, you know what I'm gonna say. Jason, if you're listening, you know what I'm thinking.
Anywho, I was literally on my fucking phone, and I was trying to research some deodorant, and I push the button, and the guy comes, and he takes one of the deodorants out, and he starts to close the door, and I was like, hey, what are you doing? Leave this open. I'm trying to smell all the deodorants. He's like, ugh. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, you need to stand here and watch me smell deodorants. I'm tired of the shit being locked up.
No, 100%. And who's stealing deodorant? See, my gripe. I went to Fred Meyer. I'm sure a bunch of people are stealing deodorant.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Fat Dragon. Go ahead.
Now
Who's stealing deodorant?
Go for it.
I just wanted to try on some Levi's. Every single pair was locked up.
Yeah.
And the amount of time, how long I had to wait, I clicked the button. I waited 10, 15 minutes before someone finally rolled through to unlock the safe to open up some $50 jeans. And I was like, oh my God. I just want to try them on too. I didn't even want to buy them. I just want to try them on.
It's just getting out of hand. So Target, we're glad that you're on Target to get back to regular Target prices.
Something else to point out is if they're hiking up the prices continually year after year, which they have been, and they're cutting the prices, is this lower or at the same price that they were originally at? Or is it still higher than what it originally was at?
Yes, it's going back to what it should be.
But it
is still counteracting inflation. For now,
a bag of chips should be $6.
No, I agree. The thing I was reading about McDonald's was they're introducing a $5 meal, but what happened to like the dollar like menu?
They don't have it's not the dollar menu anymore. It's the value menu.
Yeah,
right.
And it's so like $1 something or $2 something.
$5 and they're getting free press for cutting prices for offering like a $5 menu. Like that's free marketing for still not really cutting prices. It's cutting prices, but prices that were raised.
Remember when a Subway sandwich, a foot long, was $5?
$5.
Yeah, you can't ever forget it. You know what's $5 now at Subway?
The cookies?
The footlong cookies.
You're lying.
The footlong cookies or the footlong. What else? They also have another footlong thing, but the footlong cookies are $5, and I'm like, man, we went from
What happened?
from substance, a sandwich with vegetables.
Things haven't been the
And now
same
just a cookie
since
is
Jerry
$5.
went to jail.
It really haven't. And it's it's the capitalization of products and of America, and that's how you end up with a Boeing where they care more about the bottom line than
Hey.
safe planes.
Hey.
Well, if they shoot me in the head, they shoot me in the head.
It's been good knowing you.
Let me tell you, WR don't play no games.
It's be super sad.
No.
So, all right. What you got for us?
It was a video that you sent
Yes.
that has been trending on Instagram. And essentially it is factory workers from OEMs such as Mercedes, Bentley, I think it was primarily Mercedes and Bentley, because Mercedes makes the Maybach, Bentley makes the Continental and all that.
Is it Maybach or Maybach?
Technically it's Maybach is the German way to say it. Maybach is how Rick Ross says it.
Maybach music.
Yeah,
wait.
It's Maybach.
It's Maybach?
Maybach is like the
Maybach.
It's Maybach.
You've been,
So it's Maybach.
never mind.
It doesn't sound as good. I know. It's Maybach. Anyways, and it's also Fanta, not Fanta. Fanta. Anyways, it's German stuff, And these factory workers essentially were doing, I think they were doing some on the street interview. Potentially, I think they were protesting for unionization, which unionization has been a lot in the world of auto manufacturers lately. But saying that we make these $500,000 cars, and in a day we make about like $3 million worth of vehicles with like the Maybachs, and saying like I can't afford a house, I can barely pay rent, like our wages are so low versus like what we are creating, these like $1 million machines, and just the profit margins that these companies get off of these vehicles versus what the factory workers are paid. And I thought it was an interesting topic. I'd like you to start out with kind of how you feel about that.
No,
Do you think it's a fair point?
Yeah, I think it's a very fair point, and I would just say for me, as not being supremely as a car guy, just in that one video, I just learned. I'm saying Maybach.
You can say Maybach.
And like I didn't know the parts of a Maybach make that type of a car. They're like used parts, right? From how you were saying, like
so Maybach is Mercedes.
Yeah, and they take those used parts to make another car.
So it's called a parts bin.
Yeah.
So generic stuff, let's say like window switches.
Yeah.
They're not gonna make a unique window switch for a Maybach. They'll just take it from like a Mercedes S-Class or a Mercedes C-Class. So they'll take that switch from a bin, essentially, bin full of them, and like generic stuff like that.
It may
other parts will be made specific for the Maybach, but yeah.
At least for me, how the video made it seem is like, why are you getting a Maybach? Just get a Benz.
Oh. No, the Maybach's pretty cool.
Okay.
The Maybach's really cool.
Never mind. Ignorance is bliss.
You get a lot when you get one.
Oh, really?
It's the most luxurious car in the world.
You get the star?
That's a Rolls Royce thing.
Bro, okay. And the reason why I think I wanted to just bring it up is kind of like going to the theme of how at least we started the show, where it's just inflation, where these guys every day are making $1 million cars. And they're
probably getting paid like $20 an hour.
Shit, they're like,
$30 an hour.
I'm rolling up in a Honda and I'm making.
See, now I don't know what like technicality they have, what technical school they have.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, to be on the assembly line of a factory, what schooling you need or what certification you need. So I can't speak to that. I will say I have a buddy who works, he's a mechanic for Ford, and he had his certification through Ford.
Yeah.
He makes good money doing that. Because he got certified. He got certified through Ford. He works specifically just on Fords at a dealership. And, You can make good money doing that. Now, if you're within the factory assembling, I'm assuming you're trained more through their program, not
Yeah.
like a generic 2-year course. They probably train you in a couple months.
Yeah.
Just get on the line. That would be my to play devil's advocate for that thing is well, how in demand is your position? How skilled are you as a worker?
I see what you're saying. The only part I just do disagree with is I think those people who are in those videos just more or less just talking were probably those tradesmen, where I'm not trying to say that if you work on the Tesla truck, you deserve a Tesla truck. But once again, I should be making decent amount of money to have, and maybe 2-3 years, 4 or 5 years, if I save enough money, I can buy one of these cars I'm assembling. Because I'm thinking about your homeboy who was on the show.
Andy?
Yeah, Andy.
When we're talking cars with Andy?
Yeah, we're talking cars with Andy's where it's the pride. I can only imagine the people who are assembling them have some type of relationship with cars and
Potentially.
and I'm just saying if I'm making this car for someone who's just doing just the flex and I actually want a car like this, I just want that type of pride, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's where I'm at with it, where I should at least be able to save up for something like that. That's where I'm at with it.
Totally, yeah. What I'll say to that is, while these cars are expensive, Maybach is very expensive. It's a $400,000, $500,000 car. They don't sell a lot, so that's why through just in terms of revenue, Volkswagen makes more money selling Golfs than Mercedes does selling Maybachs.
True. So
Fiat makes more money than Bentley does. That's why Fiat owns Ferrari. So it's with cars, it's quantity, not sticker price, because the amount of money that goes into research, development, engineering, those engines, those cars are expensive to produce. Maybach's pricey because it costs almost 6 figures to create one. So at the end of the day, with profit margins and quantity, that's why Honda is and Toyota's stupid rich. Toyota has more cash on hand than any other brand. And what was the final thing I wanted to say here? And I can tell you that a salesman from a sales standpoint, a guy that sells Ram trucks probably makes more money than a guy that sells Ferraris. The Ram truck guy is selling $80,000 trucks, 20 a month, whereas the Ferrari guy selling one Ferrari every 4 months.
That's wild. My ending thoughts, and I'll end with this is, it costs so much just to live in America now, and I don't know.
Yes, so Maybach is essentially a subsidiary of Mercedes. It is just a Mercedes car. It just has a separate branding.
So Maybach is owned by Mercedes.
Yes, yeah.
We're gonna start that over again.
Yeah, yes, Maybach is a
pretend that whole-
subsidiary of Mercedes.
Okay. The CEO earned $13.9 million, which is an 80% increase from 2022. Seems kind of weird if he's earning that much and then the workers aren't.
He can sprinkle some.
He could
Yeah.
sprinkle some.
He's not making the car.
He's not. He's only making top end decisions. But you could say that about any CEO. Any CEO could spread out that wealth.
But he's not making the car.
He's
If
not.
The assembly line folks aren't making the car. Who's making the car?
Yeah.
What
here's the
good-
thing.
What good is the
Here's the
top
thing.
line decisions?
If those assembly workers, again, I'm not against assembly workers. I think they should be paid more. I'm only playing devil's advocate here because otherwise this would be a boring conversation. Here's the thing. If assembly workers, if 10 of them decide we don't want to work here anymore, we're going to leave. The next day, 5 new guys start. The next week, another 5.
Unity. Solidarity.
The union's the reason America failed the automotive world.
Really?
Yeah. Unions are the reason no cars made here and American car manufacturers suck. The union killed Dodge, Ford, and Chevy. Anyways.
No.
Sorry, my hands on.
No, activism, Andrew. Activate.
We're moving on to the next topic.
No,
I think. Do you have something to say about? Do you sure you missed Cos?
so more cars are made in Canada now. More American cars are made in Canada now.
Ooh.
My Detroit's dying. Or dead. Dead.
Don't.
Coming back now through hipsters.
We're moving on to the next topic.
All right, next topic. Actually, commercial break.
So
Backseat critics, check out 2002 Western Conference Finals, Lakers versus Kings, featuring Cartier Bob. Backseat critics.
wow, that's a big critic. I will be on the latest Backseat Critic episode, so please watch Cartier Rob.
Who'd you cheer for? The Lakers or the Kings?
For both. I already knew the outcome, but
You can still cheer for a team. Maybe
I was cheering.
changes.
I was cheering for Shaq. But anywho,
You're cheering for Shaq.
you're being a hater. Anywho, thank you, critics. Follow them, Andrew, RJ. They're wonderful people. But speaking of some not
Wonderful people.
actually, that was too much glee. Close up, please.
Time to get serious.
I know. I was like, that was too cheery. Or we're gonna shift the spectrum just a little bit, talking about some very dark things. And at this time, we definitely do want to say and just talk about how domestic violence is something that is very horrible and something that is going on daily in America due to many factors. And what we're going to be talking about today, something we've talked about on the podcast before, is Diddy. So if you're listening, this is a trigger warning. We will be talking about the video that was surfacing on social media and also Diddy's apology. So at this time, if you know someone who is needing any help, please direct them to resources. And, there's always an option for help. Cos, where were you when you first saw the Diddy Cassie video?
Because you had sent it to me. I watched it. Not an easy watch.
It isn't.
Not an easy watch. Just being like, what the fuck is going on? Disturbing. It's up there. The only thing I could compare it to was be like the Ray Rice video from back in the day.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when I saw. I'm like, hotel security camera footage
Mhm.
in the hallway. Just yeah.
That, I'm not gonna lie, that towel was on there tight. Or I don't want to say he was like running full speed, but that was a brisk ass jog.
Yeah.
The powers of evil was really working. I'll just say this. I agree with you too as well. When I first saw it, it was just like disheartening because one, I definitely have to say this too as well, where I think at least in a black community and everything else in between, you kind of can't separate Diddy from the history of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
So many people said that I wanted to go to a Diddy all white party, him being an activist, him doing all these different things. So it's kind of sad to see that you do all this good and you crash out like this. And I think I at least wanted to say that too as well, because just watching the video just like made me like very disgusted. I think when he started to just stomp on her and dragged her by her hoodie, I was like, this is like pure evil. And, I'm not trying to also, because it's not that time to like, drag Bill Cosby, but, same experience when I was a kid and I was like, Bill Cosby called me a bitch ass kid. It was just that ominous because you just don't, it's the cognitive dissonance of like,
Yeah.
You say you're all these things and then this. So,
And I don't know. I learned at a young age, like don't make other people your hero.
yeah.
I try not to idolize any like man, woman. It's not in me anymore. I generally don't idolize someone because you never really know them unless you met them, unless you know them.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing to cheer for in a random person.
Yeah.
So I pick teams. The team can't do that.
Well, speaking of his team was covering up a lot of the stuff, and I
Of
think,
course.
and I think too as well.
When was that video from?
I think it's like 10 years ago. Fact check, I can double check for me. I think it was like 10 years ago because it's out of the statute of limitations.
That's crazy.
For them to go get him because
It's already.
yeah. I don't think what's not talked about enough. Go ahead.
8 years, 2016.
Thank you. I don't think what's not talked about enough because we'll definitely get back to Diddy and then we'll also talk about the victim, Cassie, as well. From how that situation happened, I don't think this was his first time doing something like this.
Absolutely not.
So my thing is, the people around him are so afraid of what Diddy, because I remember a while ago they were saying something about like Tyler Perry, and Tyler Perry would like clap his hands and like people would disperse type shit. And I was thinking about me, could I work for someone if they just like snap their fingers? I just like, I'm gonna give you 20 push-ups. So what kind of people around him not to say like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't think that it's not talked about.
It's just yes men. Everyone has yes men once they hit a certain level. They're all too scared to really say what they think.
But it's like such a like survival tactic where like, yes, I know you're trying to advance your career, but where's the humanity out of that?
There is no humanity anymore, man.
Really?
If I got to pay a car, if I got to pay rent, mortgage, if I have all these bills, who cares? You know? That's what an average person thinks. That's what most people think, I believe. There's no more humanity. Let me do the right thing.
Yeah.
The right thing doesn't pay more times than not.
Can I just say this is like just an ongoing thing with celebrities in certain statuses of power. Like if famously 1980s The Shining. Why am I blanking on his name? The director. Stanley Kubrick famously like emotionally and mentally abused actress in that whose name I'm also forgetting. He would have the cast and other crew members completely ignore her, like from the moment she came up on set and till the moment she was like clocked off.
Yeah.
She would have, or it was like Jack Nicholson would basically like be a complete asshole to her. He, being Stanley Kubrick, would continuously like put her down or just like continuously like do 50 takes, not because he was looking for a good take, but just to break her. And like you have a whole cast there that's seen this woman go through a really hard time, not do anything about it. So I think this is like more of like a longer term thing where it's just somebody's in a status of power and they're just getting away with it because they're in that position.
And I think this is the correct terminology. Terminology is called the bystander effect.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I understand where I know some people are mandatory reporters. Like, oh, if something goes on, you have to say something. I understand sometimes when you're out and about and you see two people arguing, especially if it's a man and a woman, you know, you want to be like, oh, they'll take care of it. You want to mind your business. But sometimes I think there has to be a threshold of like, that's them taking care of, like, that's a regular couple scuffle. But like when you're putting your hands on one another, Whoopi Goldberg said it the best. Everyone keep your hands to yourself, man, woman, whatever, because, you know, it does get this level. And there is a big DV problem in our, you know, society because, you know, people, you know, that's the only thing they can turn to, you know, to express themselves, whether it's a cocaine problem or is this. And it's just kind of like sad that you hurt yourself so much you want to, you know, spread that to others. So it was just like disgusting to see that type of person and just thinking that, you know, a lot of people was telling Cassie that this was a money grab. Like we kind of like talked about it, but we were more or less talking about he was diddling all those people. So I'm just curious where it's just like, where do we go for here? Like, obviously we canceled Diddy, correct?
Is he?
Oh, 110%. I don't think he's in America anymore because if he comes back, I think they're gonna try to charge him.
Okay. I guess. But what was your question? Like, what's next?
I'm like, what do you think?
What do we
What's
do with him?
next? Yeah. What do you think we do with a person like Diddy?
Castrate?
You think that?
Why not?
Okay, finish your thought with this.
If a dog attacks a child, what happens to the dog? It gets put down.
Damn.
Why not just castrate the guy?
Damn.
If he can't be an adult, if he can't control himself, take away his testosterone, take away what makes him a man. He clearly cannot control being a man.
Yeah, I was not expecting.
I
I was not
not?
expecting that.
We live in a weird world. We live in a world that is unprecedented with social media and the information that comes out. People have more power. Just regular people that like Diddy the amount of ego level that Diddy has in his life is probably equal to whatever an emperor had within like the old world or an Egyptian king or anything like that. Like that is the amount of like people at his foot kissing him and giving him power that we have now. Just regular people, social media people have so much power. We have to change the rules. We gotta come up with new ways. If someone can't handle being a man, abuses that ability, it should be taken away. I'm not saying kill the guy. I don't believe that. But he shouldn't be the same.
So knowing that this has happened, and before we get to the apology, knowing that this happened, do you think this breeds more credibility to what people have already been saying, that the sex trafficking and all that stuff? Do you believe that's more true now that this is out?
Yeah. This doesn't help. I'll say that. This certainly doesn't help his case.
So the reason why I kind of wanted to crack that before we get to the apology piece, and I feel like this is a great segue to it, is I was watching. So one of the people that inspired me to want to get into therapy, her name is Ayanla Van Zandt, and she works with a lot of people in creative ways to get them to see they have mother issues, father issues, brokenness, and really getting them to work on themselves. And she was on the Chris Como. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But she talks to a whole host of people. She has a show with Nick Cannon, talking to Nick Cannon about why masculinity is being attacked. She's a very moderate type of person. I like her because she's pretty fair. And she kind of talked about in the sense of, what do we do with a person like P. Diddy? Because our current society cancels the people, right? And then what do we do after we cancel them? They're never really going to. I don't think she was really talking about reforming reforming the person. Where she was we have to look at this at a macro level. We have a macro system problem. So what do we do with these type of people? Because she was saying domestic violence is happening right now. So what do we do to help improve that situation? Because before that person got to that point, they felt so much shame to not ask for help. So getting into a society where if those things come up, or if you're having a problem at home, it shouldn't be shameworthy that you need to out yourself. And I know that's a totally different spin. And I was very intrigued when she was I want to talk about this, because everyone was focusing on the Diddy and Cassie point, and rightfully so. And I just liked how she presented that, because I do agree where we do shame a lot of people in these positions, and before it gets this far, where, hey Diddy, you're on cocaine, my man, you need help. Now obviously it's a little bit different, the power dynamics and things that matter, but that kind of just got me thinking where there's got to be more measures, not just for domestic violence, for all the different things, where it's not so much shame around asking for help. And I think that's a big thing, because I definitely think this could have been prevented, or a lot of this could be prevented, was just, not having that stigma out. But that's
Yeah, but if you're in Diddy's situation,
oh no, I agree. I
do you even
agree.
think you need help?
That too.
He's like, hey, I'm making millions. I got millions in the bank. I have everything I ever wanted. I have all this power.
Yeah.
What do I need help with?
It's
I can beat a woman up and no one knows. For him, that's living.
but it goes back to the point of if I'm a bodyguard and like I know you're paying me to protect you and I see you wailing on your wife, I'm gonna be like, yeah, my job is to protect you, but I'm also not gonna watch you wail on your wife. You
Well,
need help.
You would wish that's.
I know, but I'm just saying, but there's has to be just more measures, and that's the part of where I agree, because we do have to bring it back to, Cassie. Now, Diddy did an apology video, and that apology video, did you not appreciate it?
What is he apologizing for?
Exactly.
It happened 8 years ago. You didn't apologize 8 years ago when it happened, did you? You apologize now that the video was public. What does that? He didn't even apologize. What? He didn't even say that he's sorry for beating her up in the video.
And then the crazy
It's
thing,
like, he just says, "I'm just so sorry." He doesn't say, "I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for that." He just says, "I'm just so sorry, and I'm need to seek help."
and the crazy
For
thing,
what, man? You're too far gone to help.
and then the crazy thing about it is, literally like 4 days later, he was like, all these things people were saying about me are false, all this other stuff. and then 4 days later, Cassie drops that. Now, that apology, to me, I agree with a lot of people were saying. It was just, I think it is just like lip service. It's like you got your hand caught in the cookie jar. And it just kind of validates where
Apologizing for getting caught, exactly.
exactly. And it's just like weird because, I think a lot of people was really getting on Cassie a lot, calling this like a cash grab. And I think what we have to really do is when we kind of get in these situations and systems where, how do we give people the benefit of the doubt during those times? Because there are false allegations, there's all this, but at the same time, right? How do we? I don't know. We just missed a lot, and a person had to suffer for that. So, I think for me, I just think about just like the people who are domestic violence survivors, Cassie, where it's like, how do you even heal from something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. From that perspective, I don't know, because she's always gonna be associated with that. People are gonna want to know like what else has he done, what else is he involved in, all this stuff. So her life won't ever be the same.
It won't, and it's just she has to relive that, and when her kids get older,
That's the real bad part. The kids.
yeah, and just like, what do you even like say to that? Because people always have this like mindset of like, why don't you ever like leave? And I think this is called the abuse triangle, where there's like the honeymoon period, and then there's like a situation, and after the situation, it's like a calm before a storm. Because like when you get into that kind of power dynamic, I don't think people really like understand the like fight and flight that you're under. It's almost kind of like sometimes when Stephen A. Smith is like talking about hoops. What are your stats? Have you ever been in the game? Like, I don't think people really understand until like they're really in it. So
I was gonna defend Stephen A.
he's not an athlete.
He's not. But athletes that do have opinions most of the time are pretty bad or pretty boring.
Huh?
Here's the thing. This is my point. Now, I struck a couple chords here. This is my defense of my point. Well, JJ Redick is really informative, and I listen to JJ Redick all the time. JJ Redick is extremely player positive and doesn't really say anything that makes you be like, interesting. It's very much like, yeah, that's the game. Same with Vince Carter when he's on TNT. Same with Jamal Crawford when he's on TNT. The only guys that have found success within the media aspect that are former players Chuck, Shaq that actually do call players out when they're not playing good.
Draymond Green.
Draymond Green's awful. I hate Draymond Green on the TNT crew. Clown. But I'll defend Steven and his hot takes. At least he makes it fun to some degree. I think a lot of ex-players are not super fun to listen to on panels.
Do you only mean basketball players, or do you actually mean all sports?
I'm thinking of basketball specifically for this example.
Okay, but if we go all sports, do you stick by that statement?
No. I think in other sports, former players can have good opinions. I just think a lot of former NBA guys are almost too respectful. Like they don't want to like touch the stove.
What about Shaq, Kenny the Jet Smith, Charles Barkley,
I already said those guys.
Just said those.
Paul Pierce?
No, Paul Pierce is
has
drunk.
awful takes. Same with Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas will have a hot take, but it's so uneducated that it's just awful.
Tracy McGrady?
Trace McGrady's an ass. I met Tracy McGrady.
Really?
Asshole.
Okay.
Trace McGrady's a
I'm
class.
sorry you had a bad personal experience with him.
asshole.
I'm gonna bring this back. Cassie and anyone who is in those type of situations, do your best and just bring it forward. Seek help and know that there's always another way. And what happened to you is very disgusting, and hopefully you heal.
Yeah.
And Diddy,
Rip.
done.
Dunzo, buddy.
Anito.
Rest in piss.
Do you think, and we'll end on this point with this topic, is there anything, because he thought that video was like taking accountability. Do you think there's anything he could do to take true accountability for what he's done?
No.
Really?
No. It's
Okay.
over.
I think what Diddy needs to do is he just needs to come clean about all the things that he's done and make it right with those victims. Because
I don't even know.
I'm not, once again, I'm not on Diddy's side. But I'm saying give people back their royalties. If you're truly trying to take responsibility and healing, all this other stuff, when you've done something wrong to someone, if I do something wrong to you, I try to atone for that. And I apologize. Not just like, but for an atonement that fits the issue. I hope that he just comes out and says all the stuff that he's done.
But again, it goes back. Do you think what he done in his own mind do you think he sees that as a bad thing?
I would say he's forced to now.
But does he see it? Deep down, he's like, yeah, maybe what I did was bad. I don't think so.
Fair.
I think he sees it as like they were lucky. They were
Damn.
lucky to get the Diddy experience.
Damn.
I'm telling you, that's how they think.
Take that. Damn. Anywho, to ease us out on a more somber note.
Let's get something a little lighter.
Yeah.
That was
little
yucky.
lighter.
I feel yucky. I feel greasy.
Final
So, final topic for today.
topic for today.
Ended on a nice note. There's some YouTuber, I don't remember what YouTuber it was, but essentially he was going through drive-thrus being like, I'll give you $100,000 if you quit your job right now. Like had the cash in hand. What a thumbnail. And the guy was like, nah, I can't. Like we only got like 2 people here if I leave, and I don't want to leave that for them. And the guy was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
That guy ends up going viral. Dana White sees the video, says that's freaking awesome. Like this guy took accountability, didn't want to let his team down, showed loyalty. So Dana White wrote him a check for $20,000.
Damn, really?
Dana White straight up wrote him a check for $20,000. Said here you go, or 10 or 20. Dana's kind of
Didn't
cheap.
Dana White?
Not pay his fighters? Yeah.
I saw he had something with his wife.
He did slap his wife.
Damn. Maybe we shouldn't talk about Dana White. Wait a second.
No, Dana's not a good guy. I don't.
Wait a second.
I don't
Wait.
like Dana.
So maybe we should talk about Dana. How much you know? I'm keeping that. Let's pause on Dana.
We're not gonna go forward with the story.
We're not gonna go.
Oh my
with the
god.
story. I was like, we can't go from reality to another allegation. I was like,
No,
look,
that was like, it wasn't any like that didn't lead to anything.
I understand, but it was just like
Yeah,
product placement.
the optics. Yeah,
The product placement. I have one.
just cut all that.
Just I'm just gonna keep it. I think it's hilarious.
Oh
Anyway,
my goodness.
my bad. One of the things I
Alright.
think I have something right here. Aminé.
Hey, Woodlawn. What's the neighborhood I live in?
Woodlawn.
Woodlawn. I shouldn't say where. Woodlawn native.
Yeah.
My guy.
Aminé. Oh, you listen to his music?
He hangs out at the Woodlawn Park where I go.
Yeah, Aminé, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be having a festival here. He's coming back to put on one of his festivals. And as a Portland native, how do you feel about him finally coming back?
I mean, he comes back every once in a while. He did that one video where he went on. Filmed it all across Portland.
Yeah.
I feel like while I like the representation of the town, he lives in LA. He does stuff primarily in LA. He moved out of here as fast as he could once he started making money. He even raps about not having to go to Woodlawn anymore. He has a song on his most recent album, the one before, reference to Woodlawn Park. Is he a Portland guy? Yeah, he is. I'm not gonna say he's not.
So the big question is, do you think?
But hey, Damian Lillard lives here in the off season. I don't think Aminé lives here. I don't think he's got a house or property here unless it's his parents.
Yeah, Dame is definitely here right now.
Dame's back. Dame's in Lake O at the Tillamook Creamery.
And how do you know that?
Come on.
Only reason
I
I'm
know the
bringing
guy
this,
that did his house out in Tualatin.
only reason I'm bringing it up is, do you think this Aminé festival? Do you think it has an opportunity to be
Violent?
Racist Cost has entered the chat.
No. That's not what I meant by that. I could just see people starting fights at an Aminé thing.
No. I'm my bigger question is, do you
White
think it
people
has
like
an
his music anyways.
Very true. Do you think it has an opportunity to be more an annual thing, or you think it'll be just one off?
If it makes money, it'll be an annual thing, man.
I think it would be one off.
No, if it makes money, it'll be an annual thing. Because the marketability of it be like, Aminé's back in town, the Portland kid is back, all this stuff. If it bombs money-wise, you'll never see him again.
Do you think it will bomb?
No, I think the city, especially summertime, especially the last couple of years with COVID and everything, the summer's been quiet. I remember growing
agree
up,
with
there
that.
was always stuff during summertime around the waterfront. There were events, shows. There was a lot more going on. I feel like it's been more quiet. We're slowly ramping up. Portland's slowly getting back. I keep telling people.
Yeah.
It's cleaning up and more stuff's popping up. I think it'll be successful. I think people will be really hyped about him coming back. I might make an appearance.
Oh, really?
The mayor of Cedar Hills asked to,
The mayor of Cedar Hills.
I did have to vacate the position. Now a dog takes that role. When I left and moved out to Woodlawn.
Welcome.
Now I'm the mayor of Woodlawn after Aminé left. So
Welcome. Oh, wow.
just like
You
that.
gonna grow dreads now? You gonna be like Chet?
No.
Yo, he
I'm
asked
not gonna
his-
be Jeremy Lin with my fake dreads.
you know he asked his dad, Tom Hanks, what was the Drake?
And he said, "Hey, Big Mane,"
Yes, I was like, this is.
and I was like, "Wow, he actually does love his son."
he loves him like the eternal.
And you know what? He broke it down perfectly.
Anyway,
He also confirmed it was a white boy summer. Did you see that? He's like, I walked out. I didn't see my shadow. We're good to go. It's a white boy summer. Let's go.
all I will say is, I think the Aminé will be successful for where he's at. But when you have these other big festivals that lots of people talk about, I don't think it's going to get there. And I think with the average success that happens, it won't.
Who's on the list? Who else is he bringing?
I'm unsure. But I definitely think it's something that he should invest in, no matter how much it makes. But I think I agree with you. If he doesn't make like a shit ton of money with it, I don't think it's going to be a reoccurring thing. Because I think those type of events, for those to like be really big, it takes years. It takes like a few years.
It does. It's the Edgefield lawn,
Mhm.
so kind of smaller venue. Also, Edgefield's out there. That's not really Portland. Troutdale.
Damn, are we?
I mean, we're on the closest side, and we're still 25 minutes out. Also, lineup. So it's him, K Trinanda, K
Trinata.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
I don't.
Dun, 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 dun,
Bad,
dun.
not good. Do you know what that is?
That's a great name.
Caribou,
Sounds like a One Piece character.
Madison, LST, Ray, Lena, Toro, Emoy.
Tory Lanez, he broke out from jail.
Three-way half.
3-head dragon.
You can even bring that one girl that's from out of here. What's her name? Andrew, the Fax Dragon knows some of these. I don't know anyone.
He can
there
bring
outside of
what's his
Aminé.
name? Co-head going up on a Tuesday.
So it's at the McMinimans Edgefield. That is such like a geezer venue too. White people. What's her name? Whiny.
When
Whiny.
like that blonde.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. She's got
She's
decent music.
alright. She's not bad, and she actually lives in Portland. She's more Portland than Aminé.
I just hope I disagree. She's okay.
No, she's more Portland than Aminé. She actually works with.
My bad. I know
brands
what you're
and
saying. I was
companies.
like, he's from here. Cut that shit out.
Oh, sure.
Okay. I know what you're talking about, like living here and shit type shit. I'll just say this. I think it's gonna have like good success for like the very first time, but I
It
think
says second annual.
but it was
Can I just add one thing?
Yeah.
Troutdale is technically
Get away from me, God! Don't.
within the Portland metro
If
area
you're-
per the water.
if
if you are-
Woodlawn,
If you are east of 205 or west of 217, you are not in Portland. You are in Beaverton or Gresham.
thank you. All
Gresham is not Portland.
all I'm saying is he's gonna have great success for where it's at starting wise, but I think his mindset of where he wants it to be takes years, and I just hope that it's something that he continually does here.
Yes. I would say maybe not at the Edgefield location.
Yeah, bring it here.
Bring it to like the waterfront
Or Woodlawn.
or Woodlawn. But where in Woodlawn?
Just rent out that whole park.
That park's not big enough. Maybe
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Continue. Well,
maybe Jefferson High School.
I love it.
I like that.
I love it. Hey, Aminé, put us
But
on
no,
the team.
but think about if you did it on the waterfront, had a stage that was on the water, so everyone was like on the hill on the waterfront.
Oh, like when the fireworks.
Fireworks and the flute togs in town or anything like that. That would be fire. Come on, the little water stage.
Yeah.
I mean, give me a call, man. Come on, give me whoever you got doing your management is a
That-
he puts you out there in Geezerville of Edgefield where they have like 80s like rock bands that no one listens to plays, or like cover bands.
Well,
And I just pissed Andrew off because I'm sure he goes there often.
yeah, with
He also goes to the Indian music theater or what the Baghdad theater. Sorry,
Hollywood theater?
Hollywood Baghdad theater, right? Isn't that the
It's just Hollywood.
oh?
Baghdad. Oh, there's a Baghdad theater.
Baghdad theater. I don't go to that one that often.
You don't go to that one. You just go
Why?
to the Hollywood theater.
Mostly the.
Well,
He's a big McMinimans guy.
I'm not gonna lie.
I got food poisoning
and
last time I had McMinimans.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not joking. I did.
I think Andrew is a guy who would probably pull a flute from his pocket, but
He's the Pied Piper. A flute. Andrew strikes me as a big folk guy.
is it bad that
No,
No,
no folk.
is
Oh.
it?
I hate folk.
Too bad? Folk's fun. Like,
Fuck.
like the Witcher music.
I'm Cartier Bob,
I'm Cass.
and if you like what we're doing, like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna be blowing up big because when we have festivals, they're gonna be here no matter what.
It'll be like a Kill Tony event.
The fuck is that? But if you like what we're doing, like, comment, subscribe. We're out.
Probably wondering if I think of you. Sorry, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, for the bag that I never had. Yeah, you probably mad right now. Yeah, I got a 2-piece now. But shit, I think they call them groupies now.